DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, GG Bet, and LG Ultra Gear.
Is it you that thinks you know everything about Georgia? I think you might, but you probably don't. In fact, the things that you probably don't know is that Atlanta is one of 2 cities in the world to have housed 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners. On top of that, Atlanta is the 2nd most largest shopping center space in the U.S. And the Varsity serves more Coca-Cola by volume than anywhere else in the world. In fact, to top that one, Julia Roberts is from the city of Smyrna or something like that in Georgia. Anyway, the point is she's from here, and what I'm trying to say is that's cool and stuff, so I'm having a great time here at the DreamHack Open Atlanta, and man, next time you just got to at least put it in the shot. There we go. Anyway, there we go. Thank you very much. Yes, it's almost time to get into our last best of one of the day, the winners matchup Group B. And before we do that, I'm going to have to tell you, and you know what, get your Bible thumbs ready because some of you're really going to have to sit back for this one. It's time to talk a little about CS Movember. And I think, do you guys have anything that you want to say right off the bat?
No, I mean, I think it's obviously a great cause, and I hope that people will support it.
I mean, I mentioned this before. I actually have panic disorder, which is considered a mental health disorder. It's not exactly as extreme as some of the other ones that are supported by Movember. But as a result, like, I fully appreciate the sacrifice that you have gone through in putting bleach onto your face. Even though people think it's like funny, that could actually really burn and
chemical burns,
yeah,
actually.
Not exactly pleasant. So I appreciate all the sacrifices you guys are doing, and I think it's a great cause.
And to be exact, in terms of sacrifice, we're talking about stretch goals. We're at 20,000 pounds, 900 right now. I don't really know how to say that in like local English stuff, but we got 2 English guys that'll tell me later. At the next stretch goal, which is 25,000 pounds, Anders Bloom and Jordan Nothing Gilbert will shave their mows into mustaches. That's right. I'm pretty sure anyone and everyone wants to see that because Anders hasn't shaved his beard in about umpteen years. Either way, it's enough for me. Let's dig a little bit deeper into Movember.
Who would I most like to see with a mo? Oh, dude, let me think. Okay, Blue.
My favourite person to see with a mustache is always Moses because he looks like a little egg with a tiny little bushy beard.
I would love to see Anders shave off that monstrous beard and grace us with his mustache.
This year, we're working with Movember to change the face of men's health.
Movember is the global men's health charity.
So back in 2016 for Movember, we did some stretch goals, and I was the lucky guy who got to wax his legs live on stream in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And this year, we're going bigger and better.
CSGO community, we need you to rally behind this one. We need you to come together and smash it for men's health.
What people may not realize is that Movember may only be 1 month, but the causes last all year round. Globally, 1 man a minute is taking his life by suicide.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
We can stop this. We can put an end to this.
We're asking the esports community to get involved this November to start conversations that matter.
Donate, and let's save some lives together here with Movember.
Yes, globally around the world, at 1 man every minute is taking his own life. It's a very sad state of affairs, but it's the truth. And men's health, men's mental health are absolutely no joking matter. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, guys, let's begin to talk a little bit about what is our last winners match of the day. And in fact, to do that, I didn't quite do it properly earlier when we kicked off the segment, so I'll do it now. Got my analysts here in Dust Moret and Buck. And guys, looking ahead at this matchup, are you excited? Or what's the deal here?
I mean, I'm excited to see Ghost play again. I feel like Ghost really gave us something fun to watch early on, beating Vitality 16-12. I mean, Vitality got a lot of those rounds off the back of some of just their star power. I think that this one probably will be a lot easier for Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's big curiosity about what Rogue is going to look like with MSL. I mean, he's going to obviously, a guy that has a reputation for being able to be very tactical, bring, you know, a lot to the table playbook-wise, and I just don't know if he's had enough time to really implement his standing, and I'm not sure what you're doing over there, but...
I'm posing for pictures.
Okay.
I'm looking smart. This is what we do on the desk all the time, right?
Is it?
No.
I've seen you do that all the time.
Which part? Oh, yeah. I mean, you just kind of hit it.
It's like the Superman look.
Yeah, there you go. Just kind of got to get used to it. Either way, yes, I do believe we have some more coming up. But, guys, looking ahead of this matchup, I mean, who's left standing is the Ghost. Who's left standing is the Rogue, or the team thereof. But I guess getting all the way to this best of one, certainly proposing yourself to have a easier route. Obviously, you get that day off. And I've said before, I think that's a really coveted part of winning this BO1 of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it gives you an extra day to prepare, to kind of look at your opponents, also gives you a little bit of time to relax. Some people do argue that it's better to have played because you're more warmed up, or, you know, you've had more reps in, so maybe you're feeling a bit more crisp with your aim. So I think it could be said either way. There's some pros and cons, but it does seem like you obviously want to make sure you get directly to the playoffs rather than risking maybe, you know, getting eliminated.
You know, I think, Dust, you've just got a ton of pros and cons.
Okay.
Am I right or wrong?
I do. I might even have 3 more.
But are they brought to us by Hacks GG is the question.
That is indeed the case.
That is the answer. Hacks GG, 3 reasons why. Do it, Dust.
All right, so I want to give you 3 reasons why I think Ghost has the edge going into this match. First off, it's going to be the Wardell versus MSL matchup. Listen, I know MSL went toe-to-toe with the best opera in the world device at DreamHack Masters Stockholm and actually held his own and was able to have impact, but I just don't feel like he's going to be able to have the same type of impact Wardell's able to have. You know, MSL kind of plays very much within the confinement of the skills that he has, whereas Wardell is a guy who can go out and make plays. So I just think that Wardell's op is going to be more impactful in the series. Next up, I just don't think MSL's had enough time with Rogue. I mean, this is a guy that really likes to have a deep playbook, a lot of set pieces, likes to bring a lot of structure. He's obviously battling with the language barrier. He's also battling with the fact he hasn't had a lot of time with this team yet. So I don't think he's really had the time to do what he needs to do to get to where he needs to be with this team. That, and I just think that Ghost has had better recent form. I think we've seen them do really well in the EPL. Meanwhile, a team like Rogue is facing relegation and definitely not in the playoff picture for any of the pro leagues in North America. I also think that just Ghost looks a little bit more well-drilled. They have made a roster change with Neptune coming in, but their structure is already there. They're not dealing with as much of a transition as Rogue is. So when you add that all up, I think Ghost does have the nod going into this matchup.
Thank you, Dust Moret. That's right, Hacks GG, the official apparel sponsor and partner of DreamHack. Now, with that, I'm going to have to ask you guys a very simple, a very blanket question, but you can run with it how you will. We talk about leaders on both teams, having at least Steel on one side of the equation and having MSL on the other. What are some pros and cons looking at that alone?
Well, I think Steel's the better fragger.
Yeah,
so if we're talking about fragging output, I think you're going to rely on Steel a little bit more. You know, I think both teams are, both in-game leaders are quite tactical, but I feel like Steel is able to kind of set his type of play in a little bit earlier, because I feel like he relies more on like little micro situations, like just quick uses of utility, a quick map control, something like that. I feel like MSL is a little bit more like thorough and long-winded. So, and the fact that MSL hasn't had enough time with this team, as I was talking about 3 reasons, I think that, you know, Steel has the edge in like a faster paced environment.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. I feel like Steel has already had the time set with his team to work with them, to put his players in the proper positions. I feel like Steel is probably going to work with the players he has better than MSL can, because MSL doesn't know what to expect from his players. So I feel like Steel will be able to take players like Wardell and put them in the best position possible, whereas MSL isn't going to have that same advantage.
Well, let's keep our expectations in check here, because it's now time to start talking about vetoes, which is what we're going to be going into now. We do have another best of 1. So again, we're going to be narrowing it all the way down to the last map of the day. What's it going to be, guys?
Unfortunately, I already know. But
cool.
I
Well,
did
you've
predict
cheated,
it.
and
I did predict it, but I already knew. So that's a problem. But I don't know what the vetoes were. Ghost will come out and veto Overpass. That's like their standard veto. Rogue will probably veto out Cash at some point, because MSL hates Cash. I would imagine Nuke and Mirage also get vetoed. So, I mean, that's what we can expect, at least off the get-go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Inferno get played again, to be 100% honest with you. I think like MSL has liked Train in the past. I know they also like it over the other side, so it could have happened, but no, actually Ghost do ban Train, actually do make it over to Inferno.
See, I thought that Ghost would actually want to play Train, because they're not too bad on Train, and given their, you know, multi-op setup, they have obviously 3 potential offers. Why wouldn't you want to play against MSL, who is manning the op right now and is not necessarily hitting his shots as well as Wardell?
Well, perhaps we start to take a look at Ghost Gaming, who have already put the Frenchmen down once today, and they're going to be looking to put some French Canadians down at this point with Sub Rosa. And it's going to be Ghost Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. So they've already had a successful run here today, 16-12 earlier on Cash in their opening matchup. And we have to start to focus a little bit on, I guess, the centerpiece of what this team is, a little bit of Wardell action.
Yeah, I mean, he's been just a beast with the AWP, and I mean, he's really been one of the driving forces behind all the success Ghost has been having in the North American region in the EPL, different online qualifiers. Definitely a very impactful guy. It's also worth noting that he's having a good game in and out, and he's a guy that the last 6 times these teams have played head-to-head, obviously slightly different rosters in a couple of those cases, Ghost has won all 6 of those games. So definitely a guy who feels really comfortable playing against the core that is Rogue. He's going to know some of those players, maybe know some of their tendencies, know where to look for plays with the AWP. It seems like he's only been getting better and better as time has passed. He's had more direction from Steel as an in-game leader. So yeah, I think that Ghost just comes into this, you know, feeling very comfortable. Inferno will certainly be a map they enjoy playing. They're really good at finding picks and playing map control on the T side. Kusta is a guy on this map in particular who's really good at kind of sneaking into archway, kind of backdooring people, being able to, you know, kind of play on the edges of the map and make plays and be a really nice clutch factor. So I just think that they're really deep on this map. And again, they've had more time to work things out than someone like Rogue has.
Yeah, I think we'll see Ghost kind of exploit that over and over again. Their T side is going to be very fluid. We're going to see them moving around the map. And then on their CT side, they're just going to rely on Wardell to anchor down sites. I don't think that we're going to see too much from Rogue, to be perfectly honest. I think this is going to be a somewhat one-sided affair.
The one question mark I do have is Neptune, the guy that you see on your screen. This is the newcomer to the team. This is a map where he can be used in kind of an entry fragger role position, kind of coming from Boiler, kind of used to attack the top of middle. It seems like he's gone through some growing pains since he's joined this team. He did play pretty well earlier today, which is a good sign, but I think for the long term, how Neptune performs is really going to kind of help determine what the ceiling of Ghost can maybe really be with this lineup.
Well, how about the ceiling of Rogue? I don't even think we can begin to discuss that because, I mean, we put the parameters of time on there, the constraints of what time are, and believe it or not, no one wins against time. None of us.
That's very dark and deep.
It's morbid. Thank you for that.
It's not, well, you know, I'm just trying to say what it is. I mean, you don't win against the timer in-game. I don't know what you guys are thinking out of game. So anyway, yeah, Vice, Sick, MSL, Hiko, Ricky. So about these guys, what do you guys know?
I mean, they actually have a decent amount of firepower on this team. I mean, we talk about how, you know, we don't know what MSL is going to be like with AWP long-term for this team, but a guy like Sick, very solid at kind of opening up things in the map for this team. Ricky, even though he's kind of been more of a rifler instead of opting like he used to do back on his Renegades days, he has been putting up numbers on an in-and-out basis, and he's definitely been a very impactful player of his team, very flexible in what he can do. He can pick up the second out if they want to run that setup on the CT side. So I think that that's kind of one of the ways that Rogue might be able to perhaps kind of pull one over on Ghost. I feel like they're getting more consistent performances out of guys like Ricky, out of Sick, than maybe some guys like Sub Rosa and Neptune on the other team who at times kind of have their points of struggling. So that could be one way that Rogue look to work in an advantage, maybe win some of the individual matchups on the map where they can kind of maybe assert guys like Sick and Ricky out there to try to, you know, win some duels.
I think the big concern right now for Rogue is that they were playing actually pretty well under Cadian as the op and the leader.
Yeah.
They were having decent success, not like phenomenal victories or anything like that, but they were playing way better than I think people expected them to. And then they swap out for MSL. Like MSL, you might make an argument that he might be a stronger in-game leader, but is his in-game leading going to offset the difference on the scoreboard? Because the reality is he's not going to put up as many numbers as Cadian was doing. Cadian had become one of the more consistent performers for them, and you didn't really talk about Ricky's op not being in play when you had Cadian in play because he was starting to really hit his stride with the team, which is something that he used to struggle with himself. So I really wonder if that's going to be enough, like the potential boost in leadership is going to be enough to offset the loss of like just basically fragging power.
I think it's just even harder because like MSL as an opera is a very new thing, at least in recent times, right? I mean, he did it for that basically one tournament, DreamHack Masters Stockholm, where he did, you know, win the tournament, was the MVP, but is that really something that's going to happen on an in-and-out basis? Because he's gone up against this guy, Wardell, you see on your screen, who has been consistently the star player for his team with AWP and always is a playmaker. That's the difference between these two. I feel like MSL is much more like kind of reserved and kind of just like playing a role, whereas Wardell's a guy who's going to create space and make big plays.
Creating space. I like that. Yeah. Wardell's definitely an influential player, an impact player, as I would say here for Ghost Gaming. MSL, he said it himself. He's still trying to learn the ropes of the team. They're trying to learn the ropes of how he wants to run things, but also just as teammates, as individuals, as friends. They kind of want to learn who each other is. Kind of like you should learn about the unparalleled speed that is unequivocally important for winning. With Ultra Gear, your need for speed is also your secret weapon. Overcome pivotal moments that achieve victory, all without lag or hiccup, like I hiccuped during that as I was saying it. Now, you can also hiccup your vote into chat using !GG, or perhaps even the other one. I just think it's going to
ROG.
Yeah, but I think GG. I think it's going to be GG. Anyway, yeah, so the betting odds are up. But again, get your votes into Twitch chat. Let's see where you lie as a Twitch viewer and a participant into this broadcast.
Also wanted to make one more quick note before we get into predictions, if I may. One thing that MSL has been really well known for over the years is always being able to find a way to like develop entry fraggers. Like he kind of developed Kirby on the Dignitas stage, same with Config. He's always been really good at, when he doesn't have an op in his hands, kind of go in first and set up an entry. So I'm wondering, is this the man, MSL, a guy who's been known to develop younger talent and kind of get inexperienced players and kind of bring them up to speed? What type of impact is he going to have with guys like Sick and Ricky to try to maybe get a little bit more out of them, maybe turn them into more star players? And I think that that's one thing that he really can add to Rogue.
In 2018, even going into 2019, barring any changes, looking at this roster of Rogue, would you have ever forecasted that?
No, certainly not.
It's a wild time to be alive, especially within Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And it's going to be a wild prediction here from you guys because this one could be a big toss-up.
I think I just have to kind of stick with my 3 reasons I did earlier.
I mean, you did kind of, yeah, you did that.
Yeah, so I kind of already put my hat out there for Ghost, so I'm going to have to just kind of stick to my guns on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to join Dust on the Ghost camp. I just don't think that Rogue's going to take this one. Even looking at the stats that were coming up on the screen there, obviously those should have a little asterisk next to them because they were playing against a Fragsters team that was not playing with their solid 5. It was a little bit easier of a victory.
I'm going to have to also side with Ghost just because I talked to James IRL, also known as Marcus, but not also known as Marcus because he prefers James IRL for some reason. I was talking to him. Secret weapons are about to come out right now to ensure that they're going to the semifinals. And the secret weapon I have for you, me personally, is the results of this Twitch vote that I asked you to participate in. So let's take a look at the numbers. Let's crunch them. Let's run them. You guys got you did the math, right? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and continue the calculations here, and then we're going to move over to the commentators. It's going to be, well, these 2 English lads, some very interesting faces. I'll give them that. But it's going to be the likes of Hugo and Harold. Take it away, boys.
Thank you for that one, Chase. Yeah, you guys keep on crunching the numbers. Maybe we'll get them sorted out in time. Hugo, you've been running the numbers yourself, though. What way do you see this one going?
I think the analyst desk isn't really believing in Rogue too much, but I'm going to jump on the Rogue. Well, the thing is, right, I think Ghost will win this game, but I think it will be close, right? A lot of people on the desk just going, oh, yeah, clean, easy win for Ghost, but I know that Rogue played a weakened Fraxes earlier, but they actually played some really good CS. Individually, they were looking good. Some really nice calls from MSL as well. I kind of enjoyed watching them, so I don't think this will be as clean-cut as maybe some people are predicting, but I do also think Ghost will take this.
So you're on the Ghost train?
I am on the Ghost train. It's not Halloween anymore, Harry. It's more close to Christmas, but yeah, let's jump on that. Why not?
Hey, there we go. Look, they finished doing the numbers over on the desk, and yes, the chat is almost unanimously in favor of Ghost, 74% to 26. Yeah, you know, there's only 20%, 26% of Danish viewers at home. They love a Dane. But yeah, Hugo, I mean, yeah, I think I could agree with that. From what I see the Ghost, they look pretty great. And I do think, you know, one of the big talking points for me is that Wardell versus MSL. That said, I mean, I can recall seeing a few games where Wardell, you know, like very, very promising. Normally has a fantastic game, but occasionally he does maybe fall a little bit short, like Cam maybe, because he is one of those very, very flashy AWPers, right? Whereas MSL, he's someone who maybe isn't going to make the flashiest plays, but he's consistently going to be finding those kind of, you know, like the sitters, the shots that you should be getting, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always that, but it's going to be interesting to see how those 2 different styles go head to head. And we're going to be getting into this one. There's no need to wait. There's no need to hypothesize. We're getting into Inferno right now. The winner of this will be securing that spot in the semifinals in a day's time. Let's get into this with the pistol, and Wardell and Steel going to be purchasing up the utility over here on the side of Ghost with what they've got. Could maybe look to throw in a B play. Have the smoke for the cross and, sorry, down towards Coffins and one for CT. But instead, they're turning their attention over here towards the apartments early on a Ghost.
Yeah, Steel can always set up that Abs flashbang and smoke to try and get them out of this hallway. That seems to be the play being made, although it's not really too slow. They're just charging right through. Hiko already finding that first kill on the defense, and MSL and Vice also chiming in. Rogue absolutely tearing Ghost limb from limb here on the A bomb site, and they do have the short control still held. Got to worry about that flank up from mid from Wardell, but he's not really being silent about his position. And I like this play from Rogue. They just chase him down, give him no room. Unfortunately, that gives the room on the A site for Kusta to plant. So there's some guaranteed money in the bank, but there's no way he's winning that clutch.
No, definitely not. Rogue going to be finding themselves the pistol here, and pretty convincingly so. Fist bumps already. See Hiko trying to keep team spirits up high. You know, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge considering the success that Vice just found there in that pistol round. He looked fantastic. MSL chimed in with a little bit more towards the very end. For Ghost, they get the bomb down. That leaves the option open if they want to go to it. Maybe to have a bit of an early force buy in here, but you think about how centric around the AWP this team is, how they like to get that out on Wardell earlier on. So, you know, maybe not going to elect to do that. I think most likely we see them take the eco, but no, they go for the force. Ooh. They keep us on our toes, Hugo. Wardell, he still saves for the AWP, so he's still going to have that in round 4.
Interesting to see saving for the AWP when we're on T-side Inferno as well, right? Not a lot of teams like to run it. Wardell clearly confident to pull it in nice and early, because you know that Rogue will. And so Ghost playing this one very slow, just holding on for the time being, watching mid, making sure that Rogue don't get aggressive and, you know, overestimate or underestimate the buy from Ghost and just charge down middle. They had no fear in that pistol round to take the gunfights, and for now they're a little bit more passive, and probably for the best as well, because Ghost, they are starting to clear their way up at this map. Bit of a creep down banana for the time being. It's Ricky playing contact, but he's not going to be fighting. He's only spotting that pixel gap and then falling right back with a bit of information. But he will have a lot of information in terms of what they're buying. He might have been able to spot one of those rifles going around the corner. However, he's not calling for rotation. Confident he can hold his own, and already blinded. He's down to steal. Sick can only get one on top of the boost, and just like that, the B site has been taken over. And with the nature of the B site, it's very hard to retake, especially when you almost triple smoke that CT spawn.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too many smokes, apart from when there's too many smokes. And MSL just going to go back and away, doesn't want to go pushing through this one. Neither does anyone else from Rogue, needless to say. They're just going to go ahead and save. But for Ghost, that's a big round to find, especially keeping 4 players alive. Usually, you know, if you see someone pick this up, it's normally not so one-sided, right? But they're going to have, you know, ample money over here on the T side as they do elect to keep all these rifles up. And that's kind of scary if you're Rogue, because while you're going to have a good chance of picking up this next round, if you're able to keep these 2 rifles in the UMP, you know, you get a force buy going around it. Even if you pick it up, Ghost is still going to be great to have those AKs out in the following round. They might not have the AWP on Wardell, but they're going to have pretty much everything else they would need. So that's maybe a bit of a worrying prospect if you are this Rogue team, especially after such a strong pistol round, to then lose your anti-eco in such a dominant fashion.
One factor I'm excited for is how much prep have Ghost already done into this game, right? Steel said he went through and checked Vitality demos to prepare for some of the maps that could have come up, and he was able to read them very well and understand when they were going for certain rounds, when they're going for certain executes, and Ghost was seemingly one step ahead that entire map. But for the side of Rogue, they've only known this matchup for a couple of hours. Not even that long, so will that come back to haunt the likes of Ghost? At least for now, it's looking good. 1-1, and they've got the guns on the board. Rogue, though, same story. This is something they showed a lot as well earlier in their matchup. A lot of aggression down banana, taking immediate control, keeping Ghost out of this portion of the map. If they did that in the previous round, it might have been a far more successful one for Rogue, but maybe not expecting such a heavy investment from Ghost. Of course, it was versus a very different level of opposition. Fraxis with a bit of a crippled team in terms of having that stand-in. So maybe a little more fear now that you know you're up against the likes of Ghost, some of these real upcoming players in North America. Vice, got to be careful here. He's trying to re-aggress. It could be mistimed. Steel's going to go for the peak, and he gets away with a frag. Man advantage taken for Ghost, and no real utility left up for Rogue either. One smoke and one flashbang. Koos has already rid them of MSL as well, and this A site is looking ready for the taking.
Yeah, just Hiko here. Now, in the game earlier on versus Fragsters, Hiko was instrumental at anchoring down this pit position. He was so good at keeping this A bomb site under wraps. He's now going to try and relive that versus the Ghost Train boys, and they're pushing on in. Hiko trying to apply the brakes. They don't have their ticket to ride, but they're going to get on anyway. Hiko gets shut down, and 6 going to get followed up. It is just Ricky left in this round in a 1v3. And he's going to pick up that M4 and run for the hills. He backs off, and Ghost, they will be picking up a second. They're able to steal away that second round with the force buy and then convert this one. That's going to be the reset on a Rogue, so a chance for Ghost to go 3-1 up here in the early stages of this map.
And now with that loss bonus change as well, losing this second round hurts even more if you're Rogue, because you would have much rather lost the pistol and got that extra money you know, some of the time. Get a buy up earlier, whereas now Rogue, they're going to be down potentially 3-1 before we even see guns back in their hands. Depending on what they decide to do around this solo rifle. Option to force is there, but to be honest, it'd probably just be safer to take a standard eco and wait for that third round loss bonus to kick in.
Yeah, Yeah, that A-bomb star now just a no-fly zone for Rogue. Speaking of no-flying, by the way, our observers were a little bit delayed as a result of adverse weather conditions. They weren't able to get here today. So quick shout out to the people standing in. Daniel and Sunshine, those are the names I was given. They usually do video content, and Sunshine is the assistant lead of the main stage. They're the two observing the games right now, and they're doing a stellar job stepping up to the mark. So lots of love for them. But this round, Hugo, just going to be the flat eco from the Rogue boys. All with the exception of Ricky, who was able to hold that M4 forward, obviously, and they're relying quite heavily on him now to step on up.
This one solo A player is going to make things very, very problematic if Ghost work it out. Or even if they just try and take mid control. Because Ricky, he's probably going to commit with fighting in middle. He doesn't want to play passive when he's got that solo rifle. It's so important he actually gets kills in this round, because his teammates, they're not really going to be equipped for the job. Although, they may be set up in the right site at least, because Ghost is starting to creep on back. Gusta, he's got to be careful he doesn't go down to Ricky. He's fighting in second middle in the meantime, as the rest of Ghost, they set up for this execute. 4 players here. We've got the boost employed as well. That can always be a bit of a problem, but look at these nades. Hiko, he's got to watch out, because he's about to be completely dunked out. Only losing 20 points of health isn't too bad, and Ricky will kill that lurk on the A bomb site, but it's a small consolation. Ghost is still ready to go for this execute, and even though we have to stack up from Rogue, they are not armed well.
No, they are not. It is just vanilla pistols for the most part. Hiko's able to find a little bit of damage. Oh, he's managed that. He's the USP got as he mows down 3. And it's only Wardell left. He's stuck in the crossfire. And somehow they're able to pick that round up. I think Hiko's laughing. I think, yeah, he's having a bit of a giggle. They're quite happy with that one. And I can't say I blame them. That should have been a massacre. And it was, but it was the wrong way.
I have no idea. I don't even understand. Everyone just assisting as well. Look, Hiko got an assist, MSL got an assist, and Stick got an assist. Vice got 3 kills. USP easy on the B-bomb site there. And Rogue, that is a round that you were never meant to win.
No, not in a million years, and certainly not in that fashion either. Maybe if Ricky rotated in with a rifle and done some work, then, you know, different story. But no, they just need Vice. And that'll be a second round now for this Rogue squadron. They're going to go ahead and start to peel away from this B-bomb site early on. They had a 3-man stack here just to make sure Ghost didn't try and go for any fast play up through this portion of the map. And they have not. So now on the back of it, they've rotated a man away from B back here to assist in the holding of this A-bomb site. You can see him over towards the long position. And look at this, all the way down through Banana. Ricky's going to get spotted and actually gives up the first man the way of Ghost. There is still Sick here. Will they be ready for the second man down at the base of Banana? That's the real question now. And indeed they will. Sick's going to get spotted and dealt with by Steel. So these rotations coming in from Rogue, but they're a long way away. MSL's the first man on the scene, and he might just get here in the nick of time.
Oh, but he's got to go huge, and he's already been flashed out, trying to beat through the smoke, and it's a team kill. MSL follows up, taking Neptune as well, but just like that, the trade is there. Sabrosa making up for the frag to his teammate, keeping Ghost in this round and getting the bomb down. It's a 3-on-2 in the post plant, and Rogue have to go in with the retake, but it's not looking pretty. B-site can be so hard, even in a 3-on-3, and Rogue are down a man, so they'll just throw in the towel, fall back to that A-bomb site. Ghost not in a position to chase just yet. If you notice as well, them losing to pistols actually forced rebuys from them in this round, which means Wardell couldn't get the AWP that he saved so early on in this map to pull through. However, that will be starting to get a little more tantalizing as an idea for Ghost, as they start to pick up some more money winning this rifle round, taking Rogue down a peg for now, and actually getting the reset after all. So interesting to see how Rogue will invest. I imagine they'll buy up because they have 3 players with pretty decent money anyway, and Vice has even got spare cash to drop over a gun to allow for more utility. James with a death note, just writing in a few of his enemies' names. But right now, not needed. Ghost off to a pretty good lead, 3-2, holding the Rogue boys away for now. But if they break this by Harry, that's when we can really see a bit of a T-side storm from Ghost. Put Rogue on pistols, take maybe a 5-2 lead. But let's see if Rogue can bounce back.
Yeah, let's see. Are they going to be capable of it? They do have a pretty decent buy, all things considered, thanks to saving a few of those weapons forward. Needs on a Sub-Rosa. He's going to eat them early on. Takes out that molly. Still very low HP on the other side. It's Really dangerous game he's playing, hanging around on the other side of that smoke, and he knows it, so he's just going to go ahead and back away behind the half wall for now. 3 players for Rogue inside of that B-bomb site, important to note. And they do now start to peel one of them off. Speaking of peeling, Ghost still down here towards Banana. And they're going to keep on creeping up. They get this portion of the map almost entirely for free, expending, what, 1 smoke and a bit of health on Sliproser. MSL's been tagged down low, so now we need to see Six step up and protect his teammate. They drop that smoke, and Neptune's gone through it. And Neptune's found 2 on the back of that, so they're not ready for him. They will get punished for it.
And I like this deep CT smoke that Ghost have been using consistently when taking this B-bomb site. It's more common than not that you'll see that close smoke, but this deep smoke just pretty much guarantees that Rogue can't retake. They can't set up in the Ruins position, and therefore can't split when coming back into the B-bomb site. I've actually not seen many teams really run that in a post-plant, so it's actually really cool to see Ghost throwing some new tricks. Rogue getting completely cordoned out of B, and while they will catch a lurking player back on that A-bomb site, that's going to be it. Nothing to write home about for Rogue. And Ghost breaking them once again, 4 rounds on this T side. And that's going to force Rogue to probably just eco this round, Harry. They've got a couple of guns saved, but Ghost are still on the hunt. They're still hungry for these frags, knowing that now this is going to break the money, so you may as well risk some of your own guns to take away Rogue's possibility of getting another eco win, because they've already proven they can. Steel does exactly that, taking down Ricky. And just like that, only Hiko holding onto a weapon.
I mean, this is one of the biggest issues with, you know, a lot of teams CT side of Inferno. If you just keep losing these opening doors, you don't have any, you know, rotations set up to come through quickly, no support. The second you've lost those 2 inside of the B-bomb site, especially so cleanly, there's really nothing you can do, right? You're in a 3v5 Rogue. They would have to try and get through that CT smoke that you mentioned that Ghost keep on throwing down, and that's a very daunting task. This time around, Ghost, it's back to basics, back to B. They say old habits do die hard. I mean, when they've been this successful, you can't exactly blame them for it. Steel going to be clearing this out. He's going to give the call that this is all clear. There is 1 man nearby. That's going to be Vice. Now, we saw some USP heroics from him. But this time around, if he does it again, yeah, there we go. There's no chance. The aim punch plays into that. The MAC-10 really is just a little shredder of a gun. And it's going to be Ghost fighting a shift here. They would love to take a rifle or some sort of consolation with them, but they're not going to really have the chance to. They're just now looking at a bodyguard Hiko. But another very, very clean round for Ghost, this time going flawless. And that's the worrying part of your Rogue as well. This money's starting to get a bit out of hand over here. Ooh, Neptune. My goodness.
As mentioned on the desk, a player that a lot of question marks surround. Like, will he be able to fit in this Ghost roster well? Will he be able to step up to the rest of his team, despite not having maybe as much experience as some of the likes of this roster? So far, looking great. 3 kills in this round, obviously all against Eco. But he found that double entry into B in the previous. There actually 1 Ghost of the round, so nice to see Neptune starting things off strong. And Ghost as well, taking a pretty convincing lead on this T side of Inferno. Rogue definitely going to be happy on this map. They are definitely comfortable in Inferno, but Ghost doing their best to remove any chance of them taking a lead here on the CT side, although it is back to rifles here. AWP for MSL. We've still not seen it for Wardell, despite having the money. No need when the current rifle rounds are working for them, though, I guess, and they haven't seen an AWP for Rogue, but this is where things could switch up. A bit of a faster B play. Rogue, they've got to deal with this, and they're not going to be ready. They hit the footsteps. Molotov's down. Steel goes right through. He's in the spawn. He is now behind enemy lines, and the rest of the team don't have to push up because they're waiting for him to wrap the coffin.
And I mean, now you're just relying on Ricky. He's got so much to do, and he's going to get Molotoved out. He's able to find one, which even there maybe was a bit more than he bargained for, but this round's over. It's plain sailing for Ghost, and Neptune, God of the Sea, he's made this one easy for them. It's going to be 6th round on the board for Ghost. He's hunting. He's not content with just winning the round. He wants maximum damage onto the Rogue boys.
And if they take that AWP away from MSL, that is a huge upgrade as well for free. Wardell has the money for it, but why buy it, Harry, when you can just take it off of a corpse? Not the cleanest way, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's like a well-known saying.
That's a really unethical life pro tip.
It is, yeah, a life pro tip.
I forgot the name, life hack, whatever it is.
Yeah, why buy it when you could steal it? Here's Hiko and MSL left up. Maybe don't take that advice. And MSL is going to try and hold on to this AWP with his life.
God tier smoke.
Yeah, not one of the best, but not one of the worst either. You'd be surprised. We've seen worse. going to be another round for Ghost at this point. Yeah, missed smoke. That's not the biggest of their worries. They're looking great. So I guess that is the biggest of their worries. That's all they've had to worry about thus far. Over on the side of Rogue, it's an awkward spot to be in. They're going to be partial buying down. You've got that max loss bonus almost building up. So that is maybe a silver lining they can look to. Means they have a little bit more resistance in this round. And you can see Rogue, this time they stacked 3 players inside of this B-bomb site off the bat. They're very, very scared, and justifiably so. Ghost have had this B-bomb site whenever they've wanted it, but this time MSL's here, and he looks up to the task of trying to lock it down. He finds that first. Neptune spearheading this offensive on in. And he has spotted up the man at Oranges. Is going to shut down Ricky, who's been having a real tough time of it inside a B. MSL now looking to try and lead by example here with the AWP. Does spot the man there, but not going to land the shot. That bomb goes down. Only difference for Rogue this time is they have all 4 players here knocking on the door and goes. This is one of the first retakes we've seen come through, and no, they back up. They give it up.
I don't even blame them as well. No kit, and Ghost have so much utility because they went for an immediate B rush. They didn't expend that many nades actually getting into the site. So in the post plant, they've got plenty. And Wardell's even on the flank as well. He's actually been bypassed as they crack through the spawn. He's going to get caught. Hiko does get a frag after all, and they can try and retrieve the weapon, but they still got Vice here boxing in the Ghost players to be, trying to make them go down with the bomb. That's Vice's intention, but he's not going to be able to stop anyone from leaving eventually. 6, same story. And Ghost will hold on to at least 2 weapons here. Got a third up on A, but I don't think he's going to meet anyone anytime soon. Rogue do retrieve the AK off the body of that flank, but it's a small consolation, Harry. It's still another round given up. It's still another save employed by Rogue, and that's just been constant. Ghost have been constantly taking this B-bomb site, and almost every single time, Rogue haven't even had any stake in this round. So, no different here. However, now, considering they're going to have a 4-buy coming up, and with the AWP as a possibility, you'd hope that would change. MSL back on that AWP. But now he's got Wardell to deal with. Certainly not going to be fun.
No, definitely not. So MSL's challenges do continue to grow, as he's desperately not only now going to go toe-to-toe versus Wardell, but he's got to be the man coming up with the strats to get Rogue out of this rather dismal position they're in right now. This has not been the start that they would have liked. This time for Ghost, it's a complete change of heart. They do love this B-bomb site, but they're going to go ahead and settle on A. They've gone past MSL, although Neptune's not so lucky. He will get swatted down. Steal. Able to go ahead and get an equalizer at the very least over onto Vice, and this has opened up long for them. They're trying to sneak on by, and that smoke going down means that MSL is smoked off. Instead, holding CT, still just looks to go through it. And MSL, he does seem aware, but the man down in pit, he's left exposed. That's Hiko. He's good for 1, but there's still more players heading his way, and Hiko finally going to get bested. Rogue, they've been locked out of this bomb site as the smokes are down, but the kills are in, and Sick, he's going to go ahead and manage 1. It's a 2v3 in this post plant. The first time in a long time we've seen Ghost at a man disadvantage. Can Rogue finally find themselves around?
I mean, they've got everything going for them with this apps flank from Ricky, but they've got to move fast. Don't need a kit on Sick. Ricky needs to be flashed out of his position. He is. Kusta's blind. It's all down to Wardell. The AWP in the site. He's found 1, but that's not enough, Harry. Rogue in with a retake finally. When it comes back to A, at least they can give it a go, and they'll find success here finally. 3rd round taken. And the AWP going to get saved from Ricky as well, so no problem with that. They'll bring that forward for MSL, who was able to find the opening kill down in short. I like how Ghost have been committing to their decisions, though. Not really throwing in any fakes, just going for pretty immediate setups. Even if it's not necessarily a rush to the bomb site, they'll move right up mid at the beginning of the round and then just play off the back of that and commit to A no matter what. So 7 rounds still on this T side is damn good, but Rogue need to start their comeback here and now off the back of that 1 round.
Yeah, Ghost this time around heading back over here toward A early on. You have a man keeping an eye on the base of Banana. That's Neptune. Ooh. Kusta. He's got up through that Molotov. He's trying to take the fight on Hiko, but Hiko holds his own, and we mentioned how great he's been at this position. He's still living up to that now, even in this game. That's the bomb drop, but the Rogues are going to chime in, stealing with another. This is was looking like a great round for Rogue, but now it's all turned sour, and Neptune's chiming in with another. Suddenly it's Sick and MSL left standing. MSL's in the back line. What a back and forth round. It's been a real roller coaster now. It is just Neptune left up, and MSL's going to get bested. That nade gives up where Sick is, and Neptune, he's been afforded a little bit of time to try and get this bomb down. He doesn't have many options open to him. As he smokes short, Sick is creeping round. He's trying to spot something, and he's going to get up on top of Hay, but it's Neptune to close things out. Ghost, an 8th round of their name. And that there's going to be resetting that loss bonus that Rogue did have built up, just a few rounds ago. They're back to 1,400 now.
Yeah, and the question mark on Neptune, how much is he going to perform coming into this LAN event, has already been answered so far. He's top of his team, 11 kills, winning that massive 1v2. Also picking up some key entries down on that B bomb site in previous rounds. So Neptune's really been running forward for Ghost in a big way. 8-2. And Rogue really getting broken. That reset coming in is going to kick them in the economy, and now they're going to have to call in a pause and try and take a bit of a break. Work out what the best decision is. You can see MSL coming up with a game plan, but clearly this is not over by any means, but looking damn dominant. Considering this is the T side of Inferno after all, right?
I mean, Neptune is about 30 times the distance of the Earth from the sun, but he's looking hot as ever right now. You wouldn't know it. He's doing the work right now for Ghost. Is this man? Nade down through mid from Mice, isn't able to find any damage. Steel, though, has been tagged up over here. On Banana, MSL's holding close. I'm not entirely sure they know this. The flashes are in. Oh, that's an awkward fight. Steel's actually even going to burn out MSL. He only had the Mac 10 to work with it. He's trying to find the M4.
He's lost his gun.
He's thrown everything away, but somehow they still weren't able to find him. He's playing around in the smoke. Well, now the play comes in toward A. Vice is here, and he's trying to keep Ghost at bay. Doing a good job right now. Has Hiko to help out. Sick actually chiming in with another. And oh no, Ghost, this round, it was looking great for them. It's now starting to look like it could slip through their fingers. And while they do lose Hiko down in the pit, Vice still starting his own, still with 8 bullets left in this CZ. And it's going to keep on putting up numbers for him. Kusta's left 4 HP at a Dream down in the pit. What more can he do?
Yeah, and Vice ran out of ammo, but it doesn't matter because Sick is holding the cross. Kusta cannot peek. Oh, what a shot. But he's got to be ready for Sick in this position. And Vice, he's got to get that AWP off of the body of the player on the site. Kusta trying to climb up on top, but Sick spots him. And I like how Sick moves forward there. You could argue it's a bit dangerous to try and take that fight, but if he gives a lot of time for Kusta to work, maybe Kusta comes up with a game plan on how to approach that round. Sick instead waits for no one, pushes back in, and takes it away from him. So, yeah, Ghost, they've been doing very well when it comes to these buy rounds, but lots of slip-ups when they're up against pistols. You remember that Eco round on B where Vice gets 3 kills? He just got 3 kills with the CZ up on A. This man is the Eco king.
Yeah, that's the odd thing, right? You think about this team and how, they've been quite committed to a lot of these calls, how methodical they are. And, but to have those problems where you are falling apart in the pistol rounds is, very unlike what we're used to seeing from Ghost. This time it's back towards Banana. They've been shut out of this portion of the map though pretty consistently by Rogue. They smoke off that upper molly, but MSL, not enough the first time around. Gonna go ahead and tag him twice. Hits the concrete, but finds Steel. Oh, that's the bruiser as well. MSL, you filthy man. How has he managed that? Well, you wouldn't know it because he's, pretty calculated, pretty cold while he's up on stage, but he maybe cracked a smile for a moment, did MSL, as he finds both of those through the broken wall.
And now they can just afford to rotate that AWP away, or even someone else, in fact. Sick's just going to go back towards the A site, bolster that defense, play that lurk role in between the two, in fact, in CT, which allows them to not only watch Arch and stop these 2 players on the A site from getting wrapped, but also have a really quick rotation to B, and that might be needed unless MSL carries on these kills. Waddell's on the AWP here, and he's going to need a bait to try and force out a shot from MSL. The flash is there, but the shot is also connecting. Neptune going to go down, and now MSL going back in for more. He's on 4 right now, eventually going to be dethroned, but hey, still the king of this round, still picking up 4 kills and essentially winning it for Rogue, unless Waddell can pull out something of his pocket, but only Lint here, Harry. It will be Rogue picking up another one here on the CT side, bouncing back despite being reset just moments ago, and MSL, what a savior.
Yeah, we're speaking about that duel between MSL and Wardell, and granted, Wardell does win the individual fight on MSL, but MSL killed the rest of his team, so somewhere along the line, that's got to even out.
More than even.
Yeah, we were saying, MSL is great at hitting those shots that you relied on hitting. Wardell's more the flashy AWPer. That said, he gets 2 fantastic just kind of sitters of shots that you would love for him to get, but then the 2 through the wall as well. So yeah, What a guy. Ghost Gaming, tactical pause called on in. Kind of speaking volumes when you consider how one-sided this was looking initially. Rogue are doing a great job of building back into this game, and that's the thing I think you do have to give credit toward you know, the likes of MSL for. He is very good at that. With Rogue, normally it is kind of a slower start, and then they do build into the game as it goes on, as they kind of start to figure out how their opponents like to play, what they like to do. And there is still a chance at a very, very competitive half here from Rogue. They could take this 7-8.
Yeah, but still, Ghost, I mean, their job is done at the end of the day. Of course, they're going to want more than 8 rounds if they can, but if this goes 8-7 to Ghost, they are going to be more than pleased. That being said, just because Rogue have won all these ecos doesn't mean Ghost can't, so they're still in this one. However, Sub-Rose are being taken out of the equation nice and early on by MSL, keeping up the frags from the previous round. 2 here on B. Still going to try and go ahead of these smokes and nades, but this flash is in and Steel doesn't care. He's playing anti-flash, gets himself 1. Ricky with a triple in the meantime, so it's not going to matter. Looked close for Ghost, but Rogue going to shut it down, and Ricky with a pretty big 3K. At the end of the day, it was only ecoing players, so it's a fairly safe round nonetheless for Rogue, you'd like to think. But now we're going to have guns back in the hands of Ghost, and this is where things can get complicated once again. I'd love to see Ghost just try and go for this fast B play once more. They ran it so much in the early rounds, but of course, Rogue are going to have a lot more utility to shut this one down, so it may not be too much of a tantalizing idea for Ghost.
Rogue, they even tried playing down through mid there. I think MSL was peeking down into the second mid while the Molotov was still up, but he's going to have to back away. Early on, Ghost just playing this slow default initially. A couple of players over in the apartments, keeping an eye on Banana, not allowing Rogue to find any of these quick picks or go aggressive across the map. Now expending some utility to try and take control of top mid, and from here they can see where they want to go with the rest of this round. 1 minute and 10 seconds left, so plenty of time. That's not going to be the issue. Now we have seen in the past, Ghost, normally they do just like to dedicate in towards one of these sites, and this round's no different. Neptune is the man to open up. Eco from down in the pit. Might not be top fragging right now, but he's normally pretty good at holding it. This time he gets bested. Oh, Rosa, we might talk about that one.
That's revenge as well. I think Neptune killed Sub-Rosa earlier in the half, or it was definitely either that's either Sub-Rosa killing him again or Neptune getting revenge. Either way, Sick is going to get caught trying to retake back into the site, but it's a bit of a desperation round from Rogue. They are going to get mopped up in the post plant. 9 on the half here for Ghost. Pretty damn sick T side, I will say. Assuming they can find the pistol on top of that, this could be a pretty quick game despite Rogue putting up 6 rounds in that first half.
I always get so anxious whenever I see fist bumps on camera. They're not reciprocated. Even the camera guy was, ready to switch off that one. But yeah, it's been a decent recovery from Rogue when you think about how one-sided the beginning of this half was, right? That's the thing for me that at least speaks volumes in that sense. This was 7-2 at one point in time. So, 9-6 half suddenly isn't all that bad if you look at this in your Rogue. You did a good job of getting back into that towards the latter stages of the game. A lot of the issues, I think, early on over towards that B bomb site, Ricky not really landing any of his shots, kind of falling short. And you notice the turning point was when they bring MSL around with that AWP. They can try and set him up just to be like the railgun in that portion of the map. And yeah, I mean, they were able to salvage a reasonable half, but Ghost, I don't think there's any doubt about it. They were looking very, very good there. As you say, they're going to be very happy with 9 rounds. Now moving into their CT side, can we see them continue that success that we saw in the first half?
Well, if you remember back to the first half, it was Rogue to take the initial pistol with some nice aggression as well on that CT side. So let's see if they can double it up and try and find their second, pull themselves back into this matchup. Pistol would be nice to try and pull them up to 9-9 if possible, but Ghost got a fair bit behind it. They got the kit on Neptune. Steel on a P250. Pretty rare to see on the CT side because it's typically bought for range for the terrorists. Now, CTs don't have that problem. They've got those USPs after all, but Steel wanting to chunk some armored players. Rogue setting up in the apartments here with the bomb. Only 2 players, though, because the rest of them are Banana, so maybe throwing in somewhat of a fake early on and then backing off, or even the alternative. If they get picks on B, they can always bring this bomb back up here, but Ricky, he's getting picked instead, picked apart by the USPs. Wardell already finding that first kill. MSL trying to throw in utility, but they re-aggress. The timing almost gets the better of him. Rogue deciding to fall out of the Banana and go back towards his A bomb site, but Ghost are still triple setup, so despite Rogue being a man down, they could actually win this round off the back of this play.
Let's see, these rotations will be coming in up through Banana. Sick. Dispatches of the lone defender inside of the bomb site. Steel's going to get bested down in pit. Now Kusta Arriving late in through short. Gonna be backed up here by Wardell. Neptune trapped on the other side of that smoke right now. They do have a kit to work with, so they've got a little bit of time here, but now Kusta barreling in. Finished off Wardell. Lots of angles to keep an eye on, but somehow he's still alive and somehow he's still fighting. Wardell has to ace it to pick this round up, and he's doing the damage, but will get finished off by Sick. Oh, by the skin of his teeth, he's able to win that out. It comes down to the wire, Hugo, but that will be Rogue finding themselves the pistol at the very least.
Man, just the sheer amount of near ace clutches that we've seen today has been ridiculous, but very nice try from Wardell. That's just unfortunate, of course. They get the early pick on the side of Ghost, but it was that rotation back towards A. Because Rogue had the initial apartments control, they were fine with falling out of Banana and just going for the quick A play. And by that point, Ghost hadn't rotated their third player off B in time, which just led to Rogue finding 2 entries with no trades back. So really nice call from Rogue to rally back towards that A bomb site. However, for now, they're looking at B. It's a fast play up with the SMGs. Ghost deciding to half buy into this round with just P250s and utility. So not a whole lot to play with. But they've invested enough that it's really going to cripple their next round buy. So I still think Ghost are going for the late 4th round CT side buy because of this investment. You would typically want to full eco this if you're buying up 3rd round on the CT side, especially on a map where you really do have to get utility in. You don't want to be playing SMGs. And of course, reliant on that AWP of Wardell, I'm sure Ghost are on the CT side of this map. So this is a chance for Rogue to equalize the scoreline, pull up 9-9 before we have guns in play for Ghost. Re-aggression here on Banana, but with only a USP, Kusta not going to be able to find this one shot, although spamming away. MSL's got his back turn, maybe setting up for a pop flash, and Hiko is there with a trade, but if Rogue just keep up the pace, the B site is theirs, and probably the round.
Well, these rotations are here, but they don't check the Sick. As a result, he's able to lay waste to the 2 players rotating in through Banana, just Wardell and Neptune here. They're not going to be able to deny that bomb plant. Smoke goes through. Wardell, yeah, not going to really find too much there. He does go down. And this round's all said and done. Rogue 8-9 and potential to tie this up if Ghost don't go for the buy in the following round. Which, you know, that was something that we did speak about. They did go for the bit of investment there. So likely is going to be that 4th round buy from them, which should mean that Rogue can equalize this out.
Yeah, just means Ghost can put more money into this one, and that's exactly what they've done. Full nade setup. Could be seeing this thrown down mid and Banana. If timed right, you can find a hell of a lot of damage off the back of this. 3 P250s as well. Those nades are there, but Rogue already running up B. Oh, look at the damage. These pistols going to be so much more effective now, but MSL finding 2 off the back of this. It is a mess. And just in seconds, already done and dusted. Rogue will pick up the round and save the AKs forward, but ooh, that's a really good eco from Ghost. 3 kills.
Yeah, very rarely do we see those nade stacks really work, but I like the idea. He pins her in, some down Banana, some down mid. You kind of covered all your bases there. Only way that Rogue would have been dodging that is if they ran, what, a 5-man app setup, which, you know, isn't all too common. So, good stuff. And now we have this buy on in from Ghost. Wardell's going to have the AWP out. And he's such a talked about prospect over within NA right now. Getting a bit too big for his boots, but will get polished off by Hiko.
Ooh, but look at the damage done. Rogue have 2 players on sub 30 HP as well. That's going to make this so much easier for Kusta. Look at him go. Lines up both those frags and completely clears the Banana. That's going to be telegraphed as well. They've got the deep smoke locking out the rest of these Rogue players, and now they can just push a player down. Kusta takes control. Neptune rotates, and in the meantime, Wardell has already dropped Sick, leaving Vice alone. So right now, Ghost are owning this entire map. And Vice, he really doesn't have many places to go. Yeah,
that's evident by the fact he just stopped mid-round to take a sip of Monster Energy.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's because it's sick on screen. I was going to say, like, Vice looks very different to how I last remember him looking. Almost exactly like his teammate.
He's playing with his hands up in the air.
Yeah, I know. He's that impressive. Telepathically.
He's going to need to be impressive, though, to win this round. The only good thing is, Harry, if you notice, Kusta, while he has a really good off angle here, actually catching a CT push, and probably not going to be expected or checked from Vice, not the first place he'd look. If Vice wins this fight, he can win the round off the back of it. He can get a bomb plant and play a 1v3, and that's definitely doable. But this angle is such a goblin angle, Harry. It is going to be the round from Ghost after all.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I'd peek into that one and actually spot anything. That was a pretty terrifying spot. Look at this. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
that That's just filth.
That's sick as well, because you know that the player is going to be walking along that CT wall, so that if they're on their own in that position, they're surely going to walk along that CT wall, and you're going to get the spot every single time. So really, actually intelligent position to play, considering you're a solo B player there.
Well, last time, while they might have only found one man over at B, this time there's many men. Only MSL already dropping one of them. They've boosted up Neptune onto the half wall. They're not looking to leave him here, as we so often see. Usually that is the idea. You play 3 players over towards B early on, you boost a man up, or you have the AWP there, something along those lines, and then you free up the rotations back towards A. Only this time, as a result of losing Sabrosa, they can't afford to do that. And that means there's only 2 players here to lock down A, and Wardell was one of them. He's been caught out by Stick, so now Steel has to try and lead by example. Apart from he's going to get put in the ground by Stick again. Double kill on the entry. And that leaves Neptune and Kusta to hide together here. Over in the apartment and T-spawn.
Yeah, Rogue not going to get ahead of themselves and start to chase here. They've yet to establish our own T-side economy, so to actually give away any guns here would be a bit of a mistake. They can afford to send 1 player at a very max, but at this point it's not really even worth it. You know Ghost have got a couple of guns held into that next round. It's not going to be a huge worry. Ghost will be buying around this for sure. But Rogue equaling up the scoreline, Harry, and that's an important factor, especially after, obviously, they take that 3-0 lead to start this half, but Ghost bounce back with their first rifle round, and that's when you get worried that, okay, maybe they're going to start to run away with this game. But some missed shots up on that A site, and a great shot through the smoke from MSL to actually open up Banana. Rogue are going to pick up their first rifle round coming into this half. And I wonder what Wardell did there as well, because he got flashed off. Maybe he was delaying to go for a shot like 2 seconds after the flashbang, which some players do, but he didn't shoot and he didn't really move enough to shield himself from the shot up short. So yeah, left himself in the open a little bit there despite being blind. So a bit of a surprise there, not what we typically see from Wardell. But now he's back on the open, now he's back with a vengeance, looking to create another opportunity.
Oh, Neptune, how's he still alive? How has he been allowed to survive that? Neptune standing in the way of danger and laughing at it as he finds the first. Does now have Kusta to help him out. Will they anticipate a 3-man setup? Rogue, they're lining up the smokes and flashes to try and make this play happen. They leave Stick to keep an eye on things, and now they've changed their mind. They don't want to hit B. Instead, they're departing from this place. They're leaving the Banana. They're leaving that site, and they're doubling background in through alt mid. Ricky going to be here with the Krieg, and he has enjoyed using this. Always a big fan of seeing them board out ever since those changes came in.
And Ghost stuck in the position that they were in last round as well. This time in a bit of a better spot, considering it's a 4-on-4, not a 4-on-5, but they're having to dedicate 2 players per site, and that's going to be Rogue. If they push A, things are going to look very good for them. Steel, he's close in the apartments. He's got the bomb here ahead of him. If he can find a kill here, that'd be so good. Can he follow up with a second? Doesn't expect the second player to push in aggressively. Sick is going to be out. And Steel's already bailed out of that position, able to follow up, dropping the bomb, and Wardell needs to now watch long, but instead he moves through that smoke into the site. Ricky catching Neptune on the rotation, but there's still only 30 seconds left to win this round, and Rogue, they haven't got the bomb to do it.
Yeah, you got to pick up the pace, pick up the pieces if you're Hiko and Ricky pushing on in. Steel's down in the pit, and he's been a real nightmare to try and deal with, and their problem's going to get that much worse. Wardell now here chiming in, leaving Ricky and his Krieg. Only 8 seconds, he's got to back away, he's going to hold on to it. There will at least be a buy for Rogue in this next round, but Ghost there straight back with around 11-10 as they retake the lead here in this matchup.
Yeah, and while they got reset in the previous, they bounced back, at least winning one of their own and breaking the money of Rogue, of course. That being said, it's easier to buy up on the T side, and Rogue already saved 4 rifles in that previous rifle round, so they're going to still be able to invest into this one, but the effects of that reset will come into round number 22 here and now if Ghost can follow up with a second.
I mean, you're speaking about the money over on the side of Rogue, but you look at Ghost, it's not that much better, right? Yeah. These rounds have been very, very close. They haven't really been able to chain any together, at least not recently, so this is a big round for either one of these 2 teams. It will be the one that breaks the economy of the opponent. And that effectively, you know, can make it a 2-for-1 in that sense. So, an important round that could decide the fate of this game. Already Kusta and Hiko going to go blow for blow. Hiko does come off slightly worse in that fight, as he's brought down to 17 HP. Rogue lining up the smokes toward this A-bomb side. It's going to get thrown on in over toward long. Flash out for Sick to peek into the short position, and now they have control of top mid. But they're not going to do anything with it. Not yet, at least. Maybe trying to sell this fake, and indeed they will. Giving the illusion that they're taking control of top mid, now throwing down that smoke at long, trying to prevent these players from rotating, and it's worked. Ghost, they've fallen for it. There's only one man inside of this B-bomb side. He's going to get tested now. It's Kusta versus the world.
And he's already low, 34 HP to his name. He's got to be calling for that rotate right now, but the flashbang is so good. Captures him as he looks away, and Vice is going to get that opening kill. Rogue now own this bomb site. The close smoke will allow Ghost to move back in and attempt a retake, but as you said, Harry, the money is very, very up and down for both teams here, so it's very common to see a save anyway. Ghost probably just want to hold on to these guns and go back in with a rifle round in the upcoming one. So this has been back and forth now for 5 rounds or so. Neither team being able to double down, find 2 in a row. And obviously that's far more dangerous and problematic for the CT side, where it is expensive to buy up, but at least they're finding the exit kills here to keep up the pressure on the other side. Rogue losing MSL down bottom banana, and look at this re-aggression from Ghost. I like this. Steel can just bait them in, and Neptune, who has an SMG, can play close. He's got to be ready for this. There's so many players, the flashbang's there, and it's just an exchange of kills, all working out for Ghost. Nice frags on the exit. That may not seem like a lot because Rogue are winning the round, but that really is going to hurt the money. And Steel looks very pleased about that.
Yeah, there he is, Mr. Steal Your Economy. He's gone ahead and just laid waste to them in that round. Steel's feeling fantastic about that. You know he is. He knows the implications and what that means. It was looking like, you know, for Rogue, it was going to be great. They were going to bring Ghost Economy to its knees. They were going to have a chance to start to string a couple of rounds together, but now that's all called into question. I mean, this buy, if anything, is... you know, almost pales in comparison to that at Ghost. There's no AWPs, you have players down on the SMGs. And there's Wardell, showing why he is so dangerous with that big green gun.
And that's what we need as well. He's been playing extremely passive on the CT side. We've not seen the typical Wardell of taking these early fights, taking these man advantages for Ghost, and that's what we want to see. So him peeking down mid early and getting a man advantage in such a crucial round to break the money of Rogue once again is really nice to see.
Well, here comes the play. Fast playing towards A, and they want to get revenge versus this pesky man Steel. And indeed they will. It's sick to find him. Already they've laid waste to everyone inside of A, all with the exception of Sub-Rosa. He's now backing off. Wardell and Steel might have fallen short now. The rest of the Ghost guys have to try and find success in a round that really, it starts to look a bit fleeting in at this point. Sub-Rosa's over here on short, does have Kusta with him. They've scavenged the 2 AWPs, and from this point, yeah, they can just look to try and save. There's a Famas that Neptune can go ahead and pick up. Ooh, he doesn't want it. I want him to want it. I want him to go get it. But he, you know, he's up on the stage. He's feeling it.
This is the first time we've seen 2 rounds been won back-to-back in the last 6 rounds or so now. Rogue finally getting a couple. So this is hugely impactful to them actually potentially even taking this game. And I've got to say, Harry, Rogue's executes have really impressed me. The amount of times that they've gone for a push and every CT on the site has been fully white has been almost every single time. That's what's really getting Rogue through this. They've been setting up some really nice flashbangs, and Ghost have not been able to take these gunfights. They may be winning the early duels, they may be winning the exiting duels, but they're not winning the mid-round duels where Rogue are actually executing onto the bomb site, and that is what's putting them back in the lead. 12-11, Ghost continuing to buy up, and this has been such a weird topsy-turvy game of Counter-Strike. Someone has to restore balance here, but Rogue are going to keep up the pace towards B. Steel can line them up, but he only gets 1. MSL there with the trade. Now Kusta's got to hold his own on his own. Neptune's going to get smoked off here in the CT spawn, but he's willing to flash himself through and get aggressive. Only a pistol after all. Will they be ready for it?
Oh, Neptune, he's dropped the bomb, he's managed 1, and now Kusta chimes on in. Still 2 players here. Oh, they go into him. Kusta's going to go ahead and find all 3. Kusta the Rooster, because he's feeling cocky. That is just fantastic. And that'll be the round going the way of Ghost.
Wow, what on earth? Not just the play from Kusta, but the flashbang from Neptune to actually kill the player that got into the pit. That was sick. And then this was also sick. Look at these shots from Kusta.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was Kusta. But yeah, I mean, there's no arguing with that. The Deeg prevails, and that's tactical timeout called in for Rogue. I think justifiably so. I mean, they just got wrecked.
I think we all need a break after that round.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous stuff. And considering the fact that that was Rogue's chance to honestly win the game, they could have run away with that at that point if they win that one rifle round. Because the whole reason that this is still going back and forth is because every round, every team is buying. And that's because Ghost are consistently saving and Rogue are consistently, you know, getting broken, but still winning the rounds. Like losing players on the exits every time, but still having to buy up because they're winning these rounds. And now, finally, Ghost have won one again. Couple in a row from Rogue. And they're going to keep up the pressure with 2 AKs and a Galil here. This is probably the worst buy we've seen yet in the last so many rounds where these forces have come through. Whereas Ghost, they've got the AWP into this one once again. Wardell on that cannon.
Nice there, lining up the smoke. Has to go ahead and line that up with the chemtrails. MSL throwing in some smokes of his own. And this looks like it's all going to amount to be a fake. You can see that bomb still down at Banana, and indeed it is. For Rogue, it's... oh, wait, how have they managed this? How have they managed to get a man into the pit? That's really going to pull rotation away from B. And for Ghost, this could be disastrous. He's going to take a very long time to come through. They do manage to pick up Ricky, but his job was just to prevent these rotations. And now we need these 2 players in B to step up. Neptune already has Kusta here as well, looking to try and continue his great form from the previous round, and indeed he will. It's the blink of an eye. It's only Hiko left. Ricky might have kept the players on A at bay, but the boys in B are here to lay waste to Rogue. That will be the round going the way of Ghost.
Yeah, that's the big detail, right? Maybe if you send two players out of the apartments and they actually get a kill, potentially you see a rotation from Ghost, but considering no one died and they only spotted Ricky in the pit, they were fine with still keeping those 2 B players in position. Looking like they were about to get caught while repositioning inside of that bomb site, but yeah, Rogue not going to be able to force enough rotation, so Ghost will pick it up and put them down on pistols. This is reaching the critical breaking point now for Rogue, and not just in money, but also in morale. Oh dear. So Rosa, he got a full-on kill against Hiko with a nade with no assist. Probably did a lot of damage there. I imagine 20 or so came from the secondary nade thrown in. But either way, couple of kills already to start things off, and Rogue haven't even seen their opponents. Never fun.
Yeah, definitely not. That is just the artillery of Ghost raining on in. But they still have a lot of work to do in this round if Rogue want to try and find anything. Especially with, what, just 1 P250. MSL with Glock in his pocket, or maybe he's just happy to see us. Kusta holding down the angle. Neptune lays waste to MSL. He's going to go ahead and get bested almost immediately as Bison's sick left up. And yeah, I mean, this should be all said and done. I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to rounds, but this is one that even I think can make the call that Ghost will be finding a 14th here. For Rogue, best case scenario, maybe they find a couple of frags, maybe they can get that bomb down, but yeah, they're not going to get past the Broza, or at least they shouldn't.
It's just the Rangers. Ghost aren't playing any close corners, not playing any bait and switches. They're just holding long angles, and with a Glock and a P250, you're just not going to win that. So clean anti-eco there from Ghost, getting rid of Rogue pretty efficiently and putting together 3 in a row now. This is the first time we've actually seen some consistent rounds from the likes of Ghost in the second half. I mean, there's been no streaks from Ghost past 3 rounds this entire game, and now maybe they could get past 3 rounds and also close out this map as well. It's 14-12, Rogue piecing together their economy with a couple of Galils, a couple of AKs, and Ricky on the Krieg. AWP's been a bit of a, well, hit and miss here on this T side. Mainly miss because they've not really had it in their pocket. Back up Banana through the smoke. 3 players here for Ghost. And Subrosa jump spotting will get a chunk down by the nade, but the package is returned to sender. MSL going to be put down to 50 as well. Hiko does get the opening kill though. And that flashbang again, so good for Rogue. They've been so good at catching Ghost blinded, and that's exactly what they'll do. 2 frags up top B already, and while the rotations are here, it's still a massive advantage for Rogue.
Well, this is it. Kusta trying to hold back this push. He was phenomenal just rounds ago when Ghost needed him to. Let's see, it has to be the roller coaster, not of love, but of pain as he holds his position round in the corner. Oh, Ricky's seen him, and that there is one of the B defenders dealt with. Wardell now here with the AWP in hand. Shuts down the first man, but he's got a lot more to do, and things go from bad to worse here for Ghost. Wardell, more players coming his way. How much more has he got in the tank? Oh, a lot more. Wardell's on 3, and he's not content with just dropping the bomb and locking in this round. He's still got more to give, and Rogue, they have to try and deal with him. This rotation from Steel is coming in, but it's taking its time. Wardell already gone above and beyond, will get finished off by Hiko, and now it's left on to Steel in a 1v2 to try and pick up where Wardell left off.
And because this rotate is taking so long, Rogue can surely assume he's come from this banana position. The plant getting in just before Steel reaches the site, but he's got them boxed in, he's got them cornered. No crossfire today. No one making contact though. He's got to find Vice at the oranges. And Steel, more of an apple man. He's found one, but Hiko's there. Trade is in for Rogue, and they are going to pick up that round after all, despite Wardell's best efforts. And that's going to be a real kick in the teeth. Finding 3 kills at the back of the bomb site, being the solo defense, and still not picking up the round. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, Steel's rotation takes a very long time to come in, but you understand why, right? Wardell's only seen those 3 players. Maybe he has one more, but the 5th man, I'm pretty sure, was still unknown at that point in time. So maybe anticipating that Rogue were just going to leave that B bomb site, right? Wardell, he sent enough of a message by laying waste to the first 3. And now, double AWP this time for Ghost. Koos, they're going to be donning that second one. Rogue chomping at the bit. They're very, very close to getting back into this game because you finally look at that Ghost Gaming economy and it actually looks vulnerable for once. And we haven't really seen that. MSL leading the charge, spots the man out of sandbags, but oh, Neptune, he bites back. Answers in with 2, Kusta with 1 more on this secondary AWP, and that's the first time Rogue have even ran into that. That's a whole new kettle of fish for them to have to worry about. It is just Sick and Vice left out from the apartments, but this isn't a site they can come to call home. Steel sends them packing as he finds the first, maybe the second as well as he brings Sick down low. And Ghost looking like they might be moving on a match point unless Sick can do the impossible.
Yeah, this is looking like shooting fish in a kettle, Harry. Not that hard. Sick, only man up, and he's already been flanked from mid, so he can't even have the option to retreat. If he peeks back, he's dead in an instant. Got to go forward into the flames. Steel will move out and still get the kill. 2 kills on him, and the round 1 by Ghost, and that is the worst possible timing to lose a round of your Rogue. You finally get reset, and Ghost are bordering the victory here at round number 15. Rogue's money is going to be in tatters. Only Hiko had $1,000 into that round in his pocket, I'm pretty sure. So they're running just off of fumes, just off of $1,400 loss bonus and whatever they can muster behind that. MSL head in his hands. I don't blame him. This is a really, really tough moment for Rogue, and they're going to call in a tactical pause. How much can you really say that can get you past this economical problem, though?
Yeah, words might have a lot of meaning, but they seem to have very little monetary value, at least for Rogue right now. They would love it if they could swap some kind words from MSL in for some weapons, but sadly that might not be the case. They only take cash here, Hugo. Well, this buy in from Rogue, it's pretty dire. Take a look at that, and that is not that's not the buy you want when Ghost is staring down the barrel of a victory here and locking in that semi-final spot. Early on, Steel, he completely changes up the pace and shoots Ricky in the face, backs on out of the apartments as they race on into him. Vice going to get Molotov down and finished off by Steel, now Sick. Mac Daddy running on in and, well, at least get rid of Steel over towards Pit. 4 on 4. Knocking on the door of this A bomb site, but now they slow things right down.
It's the frantic pace of Sick that catches Steel out, but apart from that frag, you're not going to catch Ghost out of this one anymore. You've lost the element of surprise. You've at least given away the fact that you've taken this apartment's control. And Ghost have found a 1-for-1 for it. It may not be great for them, considering they could have easily not lost Steel there, but Rogue are going to have a really tough time in finding more picks with these 3 pistols and this 1 SMG left up. It's looking so good for Ghost, running a 2-2 setup, and Rogue, they may throw smokes towards A, but will Ghost commit with a double B setup? Neptune starting to reconsider, starting to rotate, and that couldn't be more wrong. Kusta's here with that secondary AWP, but he's flashed off the angle. Ghost have to give up B. This is an opportunity for Rogue. Will they seize it?
Well, they're going to get that bomb down at least, but through the smoke, damage being done. They're trying to boost up Neptune, but Hiko not too keen on that idea. Has denied the boost, but there's still Kusta here, and he's still causing problems. He's been a real nuisance, and he looks to continue living up to that. Sabrosa and Wardell now going to arrive as well. Double AWP in the retake is usually anything but ideal, but here, sitting with the man advantage versus these pistols. They even assemble a quick boost. There's a man hidden in that smoke, though, and they don't know it. Pushing on through, that's going to be Sick. And they do keep an eye on it. Not going to be winning that anytime soon. It's Hiko left in the 1v3. Going to try and roll back the years, but he gets put down. Defuse is there. And with milliseconds to spare, it's down to the wire, but Ghost, they pick it up 16-13. They lock in their spot in the semi-finals in a day's time. And for Rogue, that means they've got to keep on playing tomorrow. You think about this Ghost Game roster, how good they look there, but you also think about Steel, you know, about James RL as well. These two, they love to sit through bots. They love to break all that down. They're going to have a whole day of watching their opposition play ahead of the semis in a day's time.
And so exciting to see those fraggers as well on the server for Ghost. I mean, Steel and Neptune really just going absolutely crazy in the high 20s at the end of the game there. So something we really like to see, of course. And yeah, a very back and forth affair, but those economy games finally came back to bite Rogue at the end of the matchup in the worst possible time. A chance to win it on that B-bomb site, but the retake is there, and we will be seeing Ghost go through to the semifinals, as you say. I'm really excited for that. I think they're definitely a team we're going to see in the grand finals here without a doubt. And alongside maybe Complexity, who have also been very good and gone through to their semi-final game as well. But
yeah, well, it was great stuff from Ghost to Co. We can go ahead and bring in some ghouls of our own as we look toward the desk now. Trace and Co, how did you guys find that?
What's a ghoul to a goblin is what I'm going to have to ask you. So, now that we got that out of the way, let's continue on down this path. That is Ghost Gaming toppling Rogue 16-13, and boy, that was a roller coaster of a match.
Yeah, I mean, really good from Ghost on the T side. I mean, we talked about this pregame, how good Steel is at calling these like layered rounds. So like uses utility to get like the small bit of map control, like top mid, or get an entry at lane, and then be able to build off of that. Even some of their B executes, he would kind of run something similar, but then one round he would sneak in the CT spawn, and that one little adjustment would throw Rogue for a loop. So I think that just the way they approached their T side was fantastic. Also, Neptune, a guy I was a little bit questioning, really good in the first half, getting a lot of entries. And look, when we did see a little bit of a creep up from Rogue, like I feel like they won the mind games in the end, Ghost. Like they caught that, they called the bluff on the fake on that pit sneak, and they kept their players at B, won that round, got the economy, and then really closed out the game from there.
I mean, one of the things that I was really looking for with Rogue was their flash utilization. Like, you saw multiple times where it looked like Ghost had a great setup, and then just out of nowhere, like, perfect flashes popping right in the face. I know it happened one big round on the A site where Wardell was holding from default with the AWP. First, he got flashed out from close over towards Porch. Then he was holding default, gets flashed, tries to repeat, gets flashed again. It just seemed like that kept happening. Yeah. It was happening a lot on upper B as well, so nade utilization from Rogue was actually on point, and towards the end, the same could be said for Ghost.
Yeah, I think like the big thing to take from that is that MSL's AWP actually kept them in the game in the first half. He made some big plays on Banana. I think that half very easily could have been 10-5, 11-4 for Ghost if it wasn't for MSL making some plays with AWP. And yeah, to add to what you're saying, the layer of flashbangs, I mean, look, MSL knows his stuff too tactically, and I think that's one of the plays he was making on the bomb site with utility was really what kind of got them the good early start in the second half, which got into a close game. Again, I just think the mind games towards the very end got won out by Steel and company.
Numbers, numbers, numbers. And we touted Wardell coming into this map, but it's going to be Steel and Neptune that are really going to be shining here when it comes down to the numbers. 91 ADR for Steel. You want to talk about rolling back the years? Well, this man is this year.
I mean, we talked about how this guy's one of the best fragging in-game leaders in the North American region, next to probably, guys like, say, like Nitro or Stanislaw. And I mean, he usually does put up pretty good numbers. That was a monster performance. So that's when he's like nearing 30 kills and he's just having a hell of a game.
Well, one hell of a game and one hell of an interviewee. Let's go ahead and bring in Steel now and begin to talk to him about what this matchup was, man. First of all, how was the roller coaster ride you just went on?
It was scary for a little bit because we had the lead and we just started like losing really stupid rounds. I'm like, oh God, not again.
So, talking about rounds that maybe you should have won, there's that one round where Wardell's anchoring the B site, and he gets, what, 3 kills, I think it is. It's 1-on-2 for him on the site, and you're flanking B.
Yeah.
You were moving a little slow on the retake. What was it that was going on?
There was a guy that I heard around apartments or alt mid area, so I thought that it could have been that they faked B, and then they could have gone back to A, because we didn't know where the last 2 were, and then we knew where the last, we knew one of the 2 when Wardell saw him, so I was still like cautious of like maybe they're sneaking the bomb A, maybe 2 of them are sneaking the bomb A, so I was waiting around for that, and then as soon as they called that there were the last 2 there, that's when I started moving.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is the same round where they did the pit sneak fake. Do you remember this? It was like...
it wasn't the same round.
It was the same round?
But I remember the pit sneak, they did the smokes where 1 goes top balcony and 2 connect with the pit. And then they had 1 guy go out, and the rest went to B. So when I saw that, I called. We know those smokes, like it's a common strategy. So I called that they did the smokes, but only 1 guy went out. And then once I killed him in pit, I'm just like nothing else here. Like I'm calling stay B the whole time. So the fake didn't really work as well as I think they thought it would have.
Right. That was definitely a key round because you got economy because of that too. Another big key, I think, was like Neptune was actually really good in the first half on his entries. I know he's kind of the recent addition to the team. We think he's finally 16 years old. It seems to be the case. How have you been kind of working with him as a guy who has a lot less experience than many of the other players?
I haven't really been too hands-on with him specifically. I think that we have like team review sessions and we have like team, I guess, like homework, if you will, where it's just like, okay, watch your POV from the game and take some notes and let's see like what you come up with on your own, and then we can review it together. We could talk about like what we liked and didn't like about the games. I think that's what we implemented most recently, and it seemed to work pretty well because I think that we're seeing like a lot of positive results and changes from that, but I think that like still there are too many mistakes happening here. Like we have full banana control and we have a guy arch side watching middle and a guy porch side watching middle, and then they jump out apartments. It's like, well, what else are they going to do? So yeah, we still have those issues.
Josh, was there anything that surprised you about this lineup? I mean, we do know that MSL's in there now. What exactly are your takes from this now that you guys have squared off?
I'm not really surprised by anything. I think like they were still pretty strong with Cadian. I think we were still a better team at the time. I think every head-to-head matchup we've had through online qualifiers or EPL, we've won like every head-to-head. So it's not like I was expecting that we were the better team, and I just said like, all right, we're the better team, but let's not like get to us. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just play composed because they're still good and they can still beat us. So let's just make sure that we're just playing it round by round.
Round by round, inch by inch is exactly what you guys need to keep doing. Keep those heads up. Ghost Gaming, everyone. And now a semi-finalist. Thank you for your time. Josh, we'll let you go catch up with James and let y'all do whatever you do for demo review or hanging out and stuff.
Sure.
Anyway, heard it from the man himself. They seem very confident. They study their opponents. They have a system that they're happy with, and I think that goes a long way within them.
No, they look so sharp on both sides of the map, particularly at this tournament, and it's really been the case. I mean, they're stealing mats off like some of the best teams in the world, and I mean, Steel is getting a lot out of players who have either had trouble on previous teams or who are just generally inexperienced. I mean, I really feel like he is just doing so well as an in-game leader, probably one of the most underrated IGLs in the world right now.
Yeah, this is like a Moneyball situation. Like you have a team that maybe you look at the sum of its parts and you go, this team shouldn't be doing as well as they're doing.
Yeah. Because
Wardell has been super inconsistent. Kusta's had problems with consistency. Neptune was really strong, promising young player, and then he wasn't sure how old he was, and like some of that kind of dissipated and faded away before he had a chance to actually play at a top level. But everything's just clicking right now. Like it's just this team just works.
And that's exactly what I can tell you about Astro. And it's bringing the on-stage communications here at Atlanta. I can tell you right now, there's a chance for you to get your hands on some of these bad boys. Join the raffle link right here below. You see it? I can actually kind of point a little. Yeah, it's a little tougher than I thought. Anyway, click the link, write it down, mail it about, send it in an email, CC the entire office in, because that's the only way you can all go about grabbing this Astro headset setup. And boy, it's working out there for him too. It's kind of cool to have that sort of technology available here on LAN.
I would agree. I love it.
Cool. Well, appreciate you guys, as always. More importantly, I also appreciate the play of the day. All right, well, it's going to be Moose with the 4K, then a 3K, MP9 into the knife. Now, guys, let's dissect this play and what led up to this moment.
Yeah, LG were just having a really hard time on this T side, Dust 2, and there was multiple spray downs on this B-bomb site between Moose and Dapper, and Moose is showing you how good he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Moose definitely was a guy that we looked at to put up numbers all day, and numbers can be found over at esport-management.com. You guys got anything to say about that? I know you guys are short on words right now, so.
Yeah, this is the part where I struggle. I'm sorry.
I mean, that round in general.
Probably got you, Stunna.
That round was the epitome of the entire half. That entire game was just individual play over and over and over again. You probably could have picked any play from that game and said that was the play of the day, because it was constant, like 3Ks, 4Ks. We saw a lot of those today in general, but that game specifically was producing those over and over again.
Well, I'm going to produce this just like the people that helped to put the show on produce this right now. The likes of Astro, Corsair, Monster Energy, Hacks, and, well, we can't forget New Belgium Brewing, all making this very possible in Atlanta, all very much responsible for putting on the DreamHack Open Atlanta 2018. And that does it for day number 1. We have sent some semifinalists onto the playoffs, and we are sending some teams home tomorrow. So you make sure that you're here for what is going to be 4 best-of-3s over the entirety of the Saturday here in the sunny Peach State of Georgia. We'll see you tomorrow.